Hey everyone, it's Michael Kikle. I hope you're doing well today, and I have a video here to kind of just take a break from doing reviews. I kind of figured I would just talk about some trailers. We have a couple out there now. This one is the new Superman trailer. Now, a lot of us were a little concerned about this new Superman movie. We had the teaser trailer thing released months ago, and to me, and I did a video on it, I wasn't super in love with what I saw. And I still have some of the same drawbacks this time around for this new trailer I'm going to talk about. But they finally put out a new one. And of course, the movie's not even 2 months away. It's July 11th? July 12th? Something like that. And I gotta tell you, this new trailer came out, and there was a lot of hype surrounding it finally coming out, in the sense of the Superman community, which I'm not even really a part of that. I just like Superman stuff I grew up on, and Henry Cavill. So I finally watched this new trailer, and I gotta say, man, it definitely interested me way more than everything else I had seen. Yeah, I still think there's going to be too many characters. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of an issue of how they're going to fit in so much into this movie, but I think that there's a chance Gunn is showing that he could possibly pull this off. One of my favorite things in this new trailer is that Lois Lane apparently will find out either in this movie or right before the movie, we're not really sure, that Clark Kent is Superman. And of course, they work together. And she's going to do an interview with him at one point, which is the beginning of the trailer. And he puts on his Superman voice, which I think is a really cool throwback to the Kirk Allen days, which I don't know if anybody has watched my previous videos about the two Kirk Allen movie serials they did back in the day. It was black and white Superman stuff. The same thing would happen there. Clark Kent would be kind of I don't want to say Weasley, but he would be kind of geeky, charming though. And when he would become Superman, it would be this is a job for Superman, and change his whole voice and everything. Kirk Allen was such a good Superman, dude. I wasn't really having much faith in Corrin Sweat to be Superman. I felt like he could do it with the right script. And I'm still hesitant about what they're going to do with Superman's portrayal in this movie. But I gotta tell you, I really liked Corrin Sweat in the trailer. I really did. Yeah, it still feels like a Henry Cavill, I don't want to say wannabe, but kind of like Henry Cavill at home, as the kids keep saying. I think Henry Cavill's my favorite portrayal of Superman, aside from the animated series from the 90s. But I like other versions. I like Kirk Allen. I like Christopher Reeves. George Reeves, the little bit I've seen of him I like from back in the day. But I'm not the biggest Superman guy. Corrin Sweat has that line in here about, hey, big guy, look up, or whatever. And then he goes flying up. I'm assuming he's going to come down from the sky and punch something in the mouth. We don't really know what it might be, as far as I know. Haven't heard anything about what the speculation is on that. He pulled that line off really well. The interview scene with Lois, I really like how he does that too. There's some really nice stuff in here, I gotta tell you. And yeah, I think there's going to be too much goofy James Gunn humor in the movie. I feel like there are scenes in the trailer that kind of nod to that. Almost to give you a heads up, but maybe even to just fool you. You know what I mean? And to thinking it's not going to be there. Something like Guy Gardner is a great example of what I'm talking about with this. I don't want the whole joke surrounding him as his goofy-ass haircut, the whole movie. I don't want that. But what I saw in this trailer, I really liked. I think the film's going to have too much in it, but I really like Corrin Sweat so far. I think that this trailer, to me, despite the costume being real ugly, I didn't hate it at all in what I saw in this trailer here. They're doing the whole thing about Superman being held captive at one point by the government and stuff. Lex Luthor, Nicholas Hoult, who I'm still not convinced is going to be a good Lex Luthor, but maybe not. I know Nicholas Holt's an incredible actor. I love him in everything I've ever seen him in, including Renfield, which is not a good movie. The dude is incredibly talented. But I suspect that this Lex Luthor will be more in the Gene Hackman sense, which is, to me, one of the worst ways to have Lex Luthor ever portrayed. I can't stand Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor. Whenever I get around before this new movie, God willing, I'm going to review the movies leading up to this one. All of the live-action Superman movies, if I can. And I got to tell you, man, you're not going to hear me say a lot of positivity about the three appearances of Gene Hackman's terrible-ass Superman, or Lex Luthor. My dad loves it. Everybody my dad's age thinks it's the best version of Lex Luthor because they don't know the comics, they don't know the animated series I grew up with, and they don't really know Lex the character. They know Lex from the movies. And that's fine, whatever, not a big deal. But I don't like it. I stand on the fact that I still think it's one of the worst adaptations of a character ever put to screen in any form, ever. Cartoons, live action, whatever. So anyway, Nicholas Hoult could be good. They have Lex being the president, and Superman at one point is in the middle of some kind of Middle Eastern desert conflict between two nations, some kind of war, that he apparently stops, and Lois grills him on that in the interview. But there's also this whole there's also this whole thing going on where somebody says something to the effect of, "Did you ask the president?" or something? So I'm fairly certain the Lex Luthor president thing is going to be another, just like some of the comics when they did that, another bashing of another Republican candidate and so on in media. God knows we need more Trump allegory nonsense in any movie. Whether you support him or hate him, it doesn't matter. The point is, God knows we definitely need another one of these cringy-ass supposed allegories that couldn't possibly have any subtlety to them. And having this weird overseas war thing could kind of be something interesting, but, I don't know. But I kind of like what they did with that. This idea that the government thinks, in America in this case, almost feel as though they are entitled to what Superman, with his powers, should and shouldn't be able to do since he's an American citizen. I actually, personally, I've heard a lot of people complain about that. And I gotta tell you, I'm not against exploring that idea. I think if it does explore it, which I don't think James Gunn will, I don't think anybody will delve into that much in this movie, with all of the other shit crowded into this film, I don't know how far it's going to be willing to go into that direction. But I want it to be interesting, and I think something like that could be fairly interesting if the right person does it. I don't know right now about how I feel. That could be something in hindsight that I'm like, why the hell did you put that in this movie? You know what I mean? It could be a mess in that respect, just like the movie could be. Now, there's the one guy, I think I've heard people call him Metamorpho, and I think I've even had an action figure of his when I was a kid back in the day. I don't know anything about Metamorpho, and be mindful, I don't really read Superman comics. I actually just read like one of my first trades of Superman about 5 or 6 years ago, and then I didn't touch anything of Superman after that, aside from, some crossover stuff with Batman. But then I read a trade last year of the first Rebirth volume, and I reviewed it here on the channel. Or Action Comics, I think is what it was, for the Rebirth volume. But I'm not the biggest comic Superman guy. Like, I'm really not. I like when he appears on things. I'm not one of those people that think he's automatically boring. I don't know anything about the guy that much, aside from the basics. You know what I mean? So I'd be curious to see what this film's going to do. I gotta tell you, I'm still not thrilled about Krypto. I'm just not. I loved the old Cartoon Network Krypto show. I loved that League of Super Pets or whatever movie a couple of years ago. I think I did a review for that on this channel. I might have done it on something else, but still, I like Krypto when he is secluded from everything else. When he's included in something like this for the first time in live action, I don't know how I feel about it. It feels very much like we need to sell more toys. This film screams George Lucas syndrome in that regard. It really does. It feels like we're going to crowd the film up with too much to sell more toys. And a lot of this stuff will just end up in Ollie's because toys are so insanely expensive now. That's what I predict, in my personal opinion. I think there's a potential that there could be some cool stuff that comes out of this. And I think there's more of a potential chance to me from seeing this new trailer. And again, it may be worth nothing at the end of the day. But I think there's a chance now, to me, that I might like the movie more than I thought I would before. And I will say that, despite what I said on my previous video about the first trailer, whatever, like a year ago, this could be something that actually I end up liking more because of what I got to see here. I don't know. And I like, too, how the film is so colorful. That's pretty nice. I know that was a big complaint about the Snyder films. And I could see why, but I love the Snyder trilogy. But I could see why the color thing could appeal to more people. And maybe that's part of why I'm liking this, because it looks different. It looks like, I don't know, Superman Returns didn't have this. Man of Steel didn't have this. None of the films had this. The closest you came was the terrible Joss Whedon Justice League film. And most of that didn't have Superman in it. It wasn't a Superman movie. I wish this film was just the basic, like, Christopher Reeve's day and age, or Kirk Allen's Superman day and age, whatever, where we could just have Superman and, like, maybe a couple of villains. Particularly one, but maybe a couple. I'm scared to death they're going to have Brainiac in this. I really am, because it just doesn't feel like the right movie to have Brainiac in. But I'm really liking the chick who they have playing Lois Lane, by the way. Yeah, I don't know. This is going to be one of those things that my full judgment, and this is an obvious statement, it really won't be able to hit and be a fair judgment until the movie comes out. But usually I could look at a trailer for something and kind of pick up on some interest about whether I think I will probably like a movie at the end of the day, right? I do the same thing with TV shows. TV shows, I will give like 3 episodes, but usually if I look at it like a commercial or a trailer for it, I kind of know from the get-go if I'm going to like it or not, based on just what the quality of things are from the past, from now. It's fairly easy for me to guess that. I can't really guess that with this movie right now. I'm interested, but I can't guess if it'll be good or not. It seems messy for sure, but I think you get where I'm coming from. Anyway, I would love to hear what you all have to say about this Superman trailer. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Are you excited for it? Do you think it looks terrible? I feel like to the viewers, I'm going to be riding the fence more than anything, and that's really not the case. It's really not. I'm excited for a new Superman movie, and I'm excited for David Corenswet to get his chance at this role, because I think from what I've seen, he could do a good job. It's the people behind it. It's James Gunn and his ego. It's what I realize already is going to be stuffed into this film where there's too much. I have my issues and my drawbacks that make me worried about the movie. But hey, I'm more positive about it now, I would say. Anyway, let me know down below what you think about the film. Thank you all for watching, guys. God bless you all. Catch you later, and goodbye.